I promised General Howe some time ago that I would give an elegant supper with dancing, of course, to help raise urgent funds for the Loyalist cause. And naturally, it is desirable, even imperative, that as my wife, you accompany me. Knowing your loyalties, I imagine it might be painful for you to see such revelry and to know that the money will be going to loyalists, but...
No.
My dear, it is important that people see us together.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said no.
That we present a certain face to society. There are still whispers about the haste of our marriage.
I don't give a damn about whispers.
God's blood, Claire! You don't have to love me, you don't have to share my bed, but you must decide will you be my wife? Forget about the whispers and what people may think, but here, in this house, you and I must survive. All we have is each other. And if we have each other, then we have him.
All the way from Providence, Rhode Island, welcome to Outlander Cast. It's a podcast dedicated to the show Outlander on Stars.
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say, could that lass be I? Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to sky.
My name is Blake, and I was laughing during
I know you. I
that
can hear you.
intro. You may have heard me laughing during the recording, but all I could think of is when I'm trying to get Mary to do something that I want to do. It's just no. I don't think you heard me. No, like Mary, can we please watch a scary movie on Halloween? No. No, but see, Mary, it's Halloween, and, this is the one time of the year that I ask you no, I don't think you heard me, but no. I don't give a damn about the whispers. We're not doing it, Blake. That's all I could think of.
I am not going to deal with nightmares. No, thank you.
I asked Mary to watch a scary movie with me.
I often do.
The past, 2 or 3 years you haven't.
Yeah, after you made me watch that terrible one, and it was like, after I had miscarriages and there was a baby, was a clone, and they had
I
to
didn't know it was going to be about that.
Well, that did it.
So,
and it was not okay for me.
And I've been hesitant to ask recently about about it.
No thanks.
To be like, hey, let's watch a scary movie again.
All set.
I should just stick with the ones that I know. Okay,
Yeah.
Let's watch Halloween again.
Yeah, that would be fine. That would be fine. Doesn't help that when Blake watches movies about ghost houses, then he has nightmares himself for 2 weeks.
Oh, it's the worst.
Whether it's my own nightmares or your nightmares, I would just rather not.
Well, one person that's not giving me nightmares, Mary, is David Behr.
Oh,
he's the absolute
dreams.
Absolute all-star this season.
Agreed.
Or at least this half season.
Yeah.
Knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
I've done
Sir Gifts a lot.
And what kind of sold it for me wasn't all the histrionics of this episode and God's blood and the whole thing. Although I really did like that line because Claire finally gets it from somebody a little bit, where they just can't put up with her crap anymore.
Yeah, she's met her stubborn match.
I like that a lot. But when Jamie comes bursting into the door, and Claire's like, "Oh my God, there you are!" Blah 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 blah, and you just see David Berry's face. And it's like a look of shock and horror and happiness. It's all in one. Mm-hmm. And it reminds me of this video that I saw once of Michael Caine, where he's like, listen, a good actor doesn't let it all loose and cry, right? Because people try to hold back tears. So as an actor, you have to hold back tears, not just blather and blither about. Mm-hmm. And that's what it reminded me of, where it was just this almost like Sam Neill looking out of his glasses at the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. Or Roy Scheider in Jaws, when the cigarette comes out of his mouth when he sees the shark for the first time. That's what it reminded me of, and I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So go back and watch it, and it's a special little moment.
My
for
favorite
David
little
Berry.
Lord John Grey moment is when Jamie says, "Oh, no, to step closer," and Lord John Grey actually pops his elbow out a little bit, like,
Oh,
"Here,
really?
hold me." You'll see it.
I didn't
It's
see
like
that.
it's whether the character of Lord John Grey was meant to do that, or the actor David Barry accidentally just knew, like, oh yeah, now he grabs my elbow. But it's almost like, grab me quick. It's cute.
So yeah, if you're listening to this in live time, ladies and gents, we are a tad behind. That is because House Larson has been Banana Land for the past 2 or 3 weeks, so we're a bit behind. Although we hope to catch up within this week to where we are in real time. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for just letting us do what we got to do internally, because we've
We're
had
time travelers, okay?
Oh my God, we've had sicknesses and concerts and performances and soccer games, and you all know like how crazy land this time of the year is for all the parents in this world, especially when you're sick. It's crazy. So thank you for your patience. Of course. That's it. That's all we got.
That's it.
All right. So wanted to let you know to go to maryandblake.com to check out all of the amazing stuff that we have there for all of our podcasts, including the soon to return, hopefully, Potterverse, and all the other things that we have going on over there, whether it is The Last Kingdom or it is the upcoming Percy Jackson series with Mary and our little lad Reese. And, of course, all of the great members at jointhenerdclan.com. You guys and ladies make this all happen. You make it all worth it, and we wouldn't be here without you. So check us out there as well. All right, Marvin, ready to get into the show?
I sure am.
Let's do it.
Little mini plot recap. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I speak for a living. A mini plot recap for y'all. Then this episode would begin with Claire marrying Lord John Grey. So that happens. They consummate their marriage.
That's a thing.
Pretending each other's Jamie. That's a thing. Talk about role play. Then we have Roger and Buck finding, the coat, looking for Roger's dad. And then we have Bree pulling a Rapunzel move with the best weapon of all time, the pan. Holy smokes. Didn't see that one coming. It was awesome. And then Jamie comes back.
By the way, nailed it. Just saying that. Nailed it.
Oh.
I knew that Rob Cameron was.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant that she nailed it with a pot. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, yeah, she did.
My depth perception, I would have just whiffed. And Lord John Grey has a party. And when William finds out who his daddy is. Oops.
Yeah. Not great, Bob. Not great.
I mean, kind of great. It's Jamie.
Yeah, sure.
I'd be
sure.
pretty pumped.
Fair
I love
enough.
my dad. Love my dad.
But if it was James Fraser, it'd be a different story.
No, I mean, just...
All right, so this was entitled 100-Weight of Stones, and that is, I think, a pretty apropos name for this episode, Marvin, because there's a weight, I think, on all of these characters that has been burdening them for quite a bit of time. And what I like most about this, Mary, is that it's not in your face. It's not something that someone says. It's not a sign that they see. It's just implicit. And those are the kind of titles that I like. The kind of titles that seem to wrap up the entire theme of what the episode is trying to say. How much can one person take? How much how can they relieve these ideas or these these burdens of their lives. I really like that. The director was Lisa Clark. You probably don't know that name because she's only directed 2 episodes of Outlander, 701, A Life Well Lost, and 702, The Happiest Place on Earth with Michael Mouse. So, love that. And then the writer was Sarah H. Haught, who wrote episode 706, The Waters Meet. So one of the other things, too, that I like to always call out is some of the other stuff, if they haven't written a whole ton or directed a whole ton of Outlander. I like to call out some of the other stuff that they've written or directed. But in Sarah H. Haught's case, she also wrote 66 episodes of that show, Bull, which I still don't understand what that show is about. It was about a guy that was wasn't a lawyer, but he was in the courtroom and he tried to figure out who jurors were. It was on CBS. That show never made sense to me. So that is what it is. All right, your kilt rating, Marvin. How many kilts are you giving this episode?
So, of course, this is episode 711. Where's my Slurpee? That's what we should have named this episode.
The Slurpee?
The Slurpee. Not this fancy name. I love Slurpees. Just fun facts, friends. Fun facts. 5, which I know was Banana Land. I don't care.
I don't think it's Banana
I
Land.
loved this episode. I gave last episode 5. I'm giving this episode 5. I really enjoyed this episode. I really, really did. And it makes me smile and laugh at the very end. And there's lots of big feelings. I know here's the scoop, poops. I just feel like they're jam-packing these episodes in, and we just have to say, okay, it is what it is. We can't magically complain a lot, and they're going to expand season 7 so we can fit things in and let things breathe a little bit more. We can't. So I'm just grateful for what I've got. I love that so much made it in, and I'm here for it. So 5. How about you, Blake?
Sure. I am going to give this episode the same exact rating that I gave
Look at us twinsies.
the last episode and the episode prior, 473. There are many great things that I love about this episode. However, there are many not so great things that I do not like about this episode. One of them being, Mary, the breakneck pace.
That's what I just said.
Now, I know, booby trap, but I'm just saying, I can't,
You won't be able to accept this fate.
I don't think I can.
I think this is going to be it, man. From here on out,
I
just
agree.
buckle up. It is a fast roller coaster. And here's the scoop, guys. You signed up for a fast roller coaster. Don't be complaining when you're click, 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 going up, and you're like, oh, never mind. I don't want to go on anymore. I don't like roller coasters. Too bad.
I always have that moment of regret.
Yeah.
As soon as you see that,
The apex.
there's just nothing in front of you anymore except just down.
Yeah.
There's that moment where I'm like, this was a bad idea. This was such a bad idea.
You buckled up. You got in the ride knowing what it is. We knew that they thought this was going to be the end of the show for quite some time. Okay? We know they've got a lot to cram in. You got on the roller coaster.
Oh,
It's too late.
I don't know.
They don't stop it at the top.
Yeah, Mary, I don't know. There's a lot. And even if this were the end of the series, just for the sake of argument, I would still be very reticent about it.
Yeah, but no one's sitting here being like, this was the most ideal conditions.
Sure.
You went through COVID. You went through all these different things. So,
Yep, fair enough.
I-
All right, you're GBG.
just grateful.
You're good, you're bad, and you're great.
Oh, my good for this episode is Bree's pan usage. I watched that. I rewound and rewatched that because just the sound effect, the stunt of it. She's so quick to grab that pan.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Rapunzel, she made the pan a real great weapon.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just glad to see it used again. I had a couple of Disney things in this episode. So it was Rapunzel with a pan. And then even when
We got to end with a Rapunzel song
Lord
today.
John talking to his nephew and being like, oh, can we talk alone? And Mercy's like, no, this is my house. What do you think you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
And it reminded me of when Elsa is talking to Anna and she's like, Anna, can we talk alone without this weird guy? And
Yeah.
she's like, no, he's my fiance. You can say whatever you want. And she's like, oh, fine. I don't think you can marry a man you you just met. You know, that whole scene?
Very Elsa-esque.
Yes, and Lord John was like Elsa. So I
Yep.
was like, gosh, this was such a Disney episode for me.
Sure.
Just left and right. So that's my good, the Disney references, even though I know that's not what they meant. My bad.
You know what, Mary? I think I
You-
know where you're going with this.
You mean to tell me that I had to watch X amount of excruciating minutes of my life with Blackjack Randall
Yep.
and James Fraser
Yep.
doing their thing?
Mm-hmm.
I had to watch a lot of abuse. I've had watch a lot of blood, not even just like sexual abuse, but I'm talking blood in addition to that. And I can't watch. I don't even get to see
You're
anything.
wonderful Volturi.
Anything? Like, I know it's kind of
Nothing.
like,
Say it
I know
out
it's like,
loud.
you know, I know that a lot of people don't want to picture or even like believe that their parents ever got it on.
Yeah, God,
Okay.
no.
And I know that for some people, like, this would be that yuck worthy. But it happened, friends. It happened. And there are going to be repercussions from this happening.
You know, Mary,
And I wanted to see a little something because we've been missing out. Outlander's back, but it's not. Nobody's getting it on.
right.
People finally get it on. And we just get little blips and they wake up and they're supposed to be like, oh, yeah, that happened. What happened?
You know, Mary, I completely agree with you, and I want to get into a deeper dive of this conversation.
So did Lord John.
But
Not too
I,
gentlemanly. Well, I can't. What does that even mean?
but I
didn't
will
even
say
get to
this.
see it.
I will say this. It reminded me of when we had Ira Stephen Behr on the show,
Yes.
and he was like,
Way back when, a decade ago.
when he was like, listen, this happened in the book, and we weren't going to shy away.
Mm-hmm.
And it was important for us to do this because this is a very serious thing that will alter Jamie's life forever. If we shied away from it,
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't be doing the story justice.
Like, I could have just used a bareback, a thrust,
Something.
a moan.
But all right, but you know what? Let's save this conversation for
Okay,
later.
that's
'cause-
my bad.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
That's my bad.
Okay.
My great. Claire's smile at the end. When Jamie takes Lord John Grey off and we have all this chaos and all these big feels and he runs off and she just has this shocked and smile. And I was like, we're back at it, man.
Right.
The gang's back. We're
Right.
all here.
We're ready to go.
Yes.
All right. So my good. Well, you know what, Mary? They're all Lord John related.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
I know. They're all Lord John related. And my good was the moment where Lord John is alone and he's got tears in his eyes and he's playing chess or he's sitting at the chess table and he's looking at this empty chair. And again, this is one of those things that it's not in your face. It's not like, oh, Jamie, I miss you. It's like if you paid attention in the series, you're going to get this cut. Like you're going to understand why this is here. And if you don't understand, like it still makes sense because he feels lonely and there's no one there to help him and guide him. But this is for those people that love Outlander and love this relationship and care about it. I really liked this moment. My bad. And this is a real bad. Like lazy writing bad. And I don't like saying that. And that is, Jamie, your son is coming soon. Woof. Woof.
So wait, something like that hasn't happened in your life? Where you've talked about someone and they just came in and they heard it?
No, something has happened like that.
Okay.
However,
Because doesn't that suck? When that happened, I was like, this is real life sometimes.
yes, no. I don't mind the way that, like, I don't mind that it happened, but the writing of it was so poorly executed. It was lazy because Lord John, this entire time, has been wicked careful about William and him being Jamie's son and like never, ever, ever referred to William as Jamie's son. Like I'm sure that it's happened, but he's never referred to him as your son.
Yeah, he is. But
No, he hasn't. And if he has, it's been in the secret hushes of like
you don't think he was
back
caught off guard? He
alleys.
just thought Jamie was dead, and now he's in front of him. And
I
it's
know.
Like, oh my god!
And
oh
I
my
thought
God.
about this too. Like I thought about this too, and I was like, well, maybe I misheard it. Maybe I misremember it. And then when you were watching the episode right before we started podcasting, it was on this scene, and I'm like, okay, let me watch this again and make sure like I'm not overcalculating it. And no, it was very calm. It was like Claire and Jamie hug, they kiss. Lord John is happy. He's got tears in his eyes.
Shock.
And he goes, Jamie, I don't want to, I don't want to mess this up, but your son is on the way. Like, nope. And the only reason why that happened, the reason why Lord John says your son instead of William is on the way, because that's what he would have done in real life. No, he definitely would have. Definitely would have. The only reason why it happened is because the show needs it to happen. The show needs William to find out that Jamie is his dad. And there's no other organic way, or at least they couldn't think of an organic way to make that happen. So in order to do it, they had to force Lord John to do something that he wouldn't normally do. And do it in a manner that was just like cheap. It was very cheap.
What's your great?
My great was also Lord John, and it relates to William. Okay, if he found out the way that he found out. Is it cheap? Is it lazy? Yes. But he finds out. What I love about the fact that he finds out is that Lord John earlier in the episode was like, all of this stuff has like happened in my life. And it's all okay because I have you, William. You're my son, and my life is worth living for you. And as a result of what happens, Lord John, is now in very imminent danger of losing his son. Like metaphorically and in reality, he is losing his son. And I love that for Lord John, and I love what that could do to his character and where that pushes him and how he reacts to all of this. Can't wait to see what happens between William and Lord John. Like, even when William's like, you lied. Like, you knew about this, and you lied. Oh, can't wait for that. So this is why it's all Lord John related, because he stole this episode, David Berry. Stole it. Ripped the rug out from everybody else and just flipped the freedom rockets as he walked away. It was great. Loved him in this episode. So that is that. That's my good, my bad, and my great. But Mary, since we left off on Lord John, I do really want to talk about the carnal knowledge, if you will, of Claire and Lord John and how that went down. You said you wanted a little bit more. Well, is it just because you just wanted to see Lord John, or is it because you just felt it was deserving?
Give me a little bit of both. And also, I just this is Outlander. Once again, we're having like a dry spell, Outlander. And
a show that made its bones on these
made its bones by boning.
Yes.
And I don't know. It's like it was already so fast. If you think about it, once again, these episodes have to be super condensed. A lot more time passes from when they're married and the parties and things like that. So there's a lot of Claire and John's relationship during this marriage period that gets to happen and bond and grow. Mm-hmm. And they do have this really intense intimate time together where they are thinking about Jamie. And granted, it's mentioned, but I don't know. I just think that it would have been neat to delve into it a little bit.
Yep.
There has been a lack of intimacy in the show, which is okay and understandable, but I think it just would have been I don't need to see privates, but I think it would have been nice to have a little something,
Yeah.
just to have us see this moment, because it's almost like when someone's dead in a show, but you don't like really know they're dead. You don't know if they're dead for sure, and it's like, did you guys really hook up, or were you both drunk and you think you hooked up?
Right.
That's where it kind of led me, where it's like, oh, I'm mad at you, and I'm gonna have this flash, and then we wake up, and it's like, I know as a book reader that they did, but watching the show, I'm like, did you, or were you too drunk?
Right.
And you think you did, and you had to sit there and be like, yeah, we did.
Yep.
So I don't know, a little bit more confirmation, if that makes sense. Even if it was just like a rolling in the sheets, give me something. I don't need 5 minutes.
Sure.
But during those little flashes, like, give me a
doesn't
bare
have to
leg.
It doesn't have to be Debbie Does Dallas. Like, it does not need to be that.
And if you're not gentlemanly, what does that mean?
Right.
Little smacking? Little nibbling? I don't know.
Some hair pulling? They can both do it?
I don't know. And you just throw it out there. I wasn't gentlemanly. Well, hello.
Would like to have seen it.
Thanks, you tease.
I think there, Mary, is an argument to be made for both sides. Because we've all had those nights where we've probably had a little too much to drink, and something may have happened with someone, and you don't quite remember it all.
Not me.
Oh no. I can specifically remember.
Stop. No one needs to know this.
No, I'm just saying.
Nobody needs to know anything.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm a teacher now.
Fair enough. But I think we've all had that night, and I think, like,
yes, there was the mojito night where I slept on a floor.
Yes, and then there was the Cuban mojito night where I had to carry you down the stairs.
Yeah, trust me, nothing happened because I just slept on the floor.
It always revolves around mojitos.
Yeah.
But I get that, like, the flashes of it. However, and I fall more on this side, and that is, yes, it's implicit that Lord John and Claire do the thing, but I almost want to see it, not because I need to get rocks off, but because there's like, we all know Jamie is alive. Like, as viewers, we know that. They don't as characters, and whatever, that is what it is. But as viewers, we do. And there's like a little bit of betrayal in that. There's a little bit of sadness in that as viewers. And Mary, we talked about this a couple of episodes ago, where it was like, the writers have a duty to not only the characters, but they have a duty to us as viewers in how we consume this story. And my sense is, if we had a chance to see that act, and like you said, it doesn't have to go crazy, but like just enough,
just a little,
where you're like,
oh, it happened.
Oh, I kind of feel dirty seeing this. Like,
yeah.
I like, this isn't right.
That's why I said, like, kind of like, oh, my mom and dad had to have done something to create me, for example, kind of something like that, where it's like, ooh, okay.
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I see where you're going. I don't think that it's applicable.
Not mom and dad level, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
ooh, I know this is not right, and I'm actively participating in this, right, as a viewer. The same way that you actively participated with Blackjack and Jamie in season 1, where you're like, ooh, goodness, nope, I don't, like, this is not what I expected, and the same thing should, like, by watching it, it makes it that much more real. And when Jamie does come back, you should be having that memory in the back of your brain, being like, ooh, this is going to be bad. Like, how are they going to get around this? Because I saw the thing. I saw what happened.
they said they did it.
Like, what do we do? And there, for me, there always has to be a reason why we're putting things into a show. If there's no reason, then we shouldn't be doing it.
Fair.
So to me, there's reason for putting that in there.
Fair.
And it's narrative, all right? It's character-based. It's not just like, ooh, let's find this MacGuffin to get to the next thing, It's like, ooh, Claire did something that's going to really piss Jamie off. And Lord John did something that's really going to piss Jamie off. And seeing it makes it more real. That's my thought on that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So let's get Bree out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to say that I nailed that one.
Bam! Just like that. A winner!
I knew I had that feeling a couple of episodes ago where it was like, what are they going to do with Bree? She can't just sit there and cry for the whole season. Something has to be done with that character. And then when I thought about that, I was like, it just popped in my head. Rob Cameron never went back. That's how they're going to get her in this season. And she's going to have adventures in trying to... I didn't know it was going to be like this, but she's going to have an adventure with Rob Cameron and trying to get her son back.
What do you think she's going to do?
My opinion is that she is Jamie's daughter. And she's got fire like Jamie, but also like Claire.
She's going to be like Jack Bauer, 24.
Yeah. I think she's gonna
Bamboo under the fingernails.
duct tape him. You know, and find that little nerve point in the neck where if like you hit it, your whole body shuts down and like it just causes bodily pain everywhere. Like that's what I think she's gonna do. She's gonna go full Jack Bauer and be like, "Where's my kid?"
Interesting.
Oh, you're not gonna tell me? Oh, okay. Zzz. You know, like she's gonna full on like just mutilate this man.
Oh.
And I feel like it's going to be one of those cathartic moments that she had a chance to do to your boy Jemmy back in season 5, and she couldn't, but now she can. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna take this power and I'm gonna do it.
Interesting.
And my thought on that is he's gonna let loose where the kid is. She's gonna find him, and then she's gonna take him through the stones to go get to Roger.
Interesting.
But
You need your outlandish theory music at this point.
I know.
You're like making a 3-step thing.
One of two things are gonna happen. Okay.
Okay.
They're gonna like pass each other in ships in the night, because Roger's gonna find out about his dad, and he's gonna try to get his dad to go back to the future to like change what happened. And Bree is like, oh, I got my kid. What do I have left here? Let's go back in time to go be with my mom and Roger, and I'll catch him, and we'll be like, hey, Ray should be here anyway. We're gonna live here, and that's that. And boom, like they're gonna pass each other in the night, or all's well that ends well. Like Roger sends his dad through the portal, but stays because they don't have enough gems. And then she finds Jemmy, and she goes back, and they're all living happily ever after.
Interesting.
That's my thought.
They still have another child. You know that too.
Yeah, but whatever.
Mock me.
Oh!
Please hang up and try again.
What?
Remember that weird moment that they had with each other? Like the two kids?
Yep.
Where it was like, the kid was like, oh, Jemmy's over there.
Yeah.
Jemmy's not happy. Or like, I can't remember what exactly happened.
Yes.
But it's like, the other one was like creepy, weird.
Yes.
Like creepy, weird kid.
Yes.
Something that you would see in like a horror movie.
Yes, Blake, we know.
Creepy, weird kid. Creepy, weird kid is going to be like, she's going to be the reason why Bree finds where Jemmy is. She's going to be like, oh.
Her spidey sense?
Yeah. Jemmy's hanging on a stalactite. In his shirts.
I don't even know
he's
that
in that
word.
cave over there.
Because I'm so little.
That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
That's how Bree finds Jemmy.
Oh my
Because of
God.
the creepy weird kid. I just gave you like 5 outlandish theories.
I know you did. My
If-
brain is blown.
If you don't come to this
Interesting.
podcast for outlandish theories, I don't know what else you come here for. What do you think? What?
Not for salads.
Not for salads. Definitely don't come here unless you want actual lettuce in a real salad.
Oh my God. Can I just say?
Hold on.
Mock me.
Please hang up and try again.
Okay, go ahead.
The priest that married Claire and Lord John
Yep.
looked like Ned Gowan without glasses.
Totally did. 100%.
Find someone different, okay? He did a great job, wonderful job reciting your lines and performing this marriage ceremony, but you gave me too much Ned Gowan vibes.
Yep. And by the way, that ceremony, very much the opposite of the ceremony she had with Jamie.
Yes.
Very traditional, very like, oh, I with this ring, I
You
be
need to
wed.
make a new shirt, because you know how you have all of her last names
Oh,
on the
yeah,
shirt?
now I'm going to have to add Gray
Yes.
to it, Lady Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very, very much the opposite. And she takes the ring off, but then she also has
He
this
gets
moment.
pissed about the ring being off.
Well, I don't think he gets pissed, but he certainly
gets pissed.
he certainly
like-
notices.
Well, okay, because it's the day after they get jiggy with it.
yes.
And they get in the carriage, and he notices that she's not wearing his ring.
Mhm.
And he's like, what the heck? Spent so much money on that. And he's miffed. Why? Why is Lord John Grey miffed that she's not wearing his ring? To me, society sees you're wearing a ring. Society has not
No
been
one
paying
has to know. I
attention
agree.
to what is on Claire's finger.
Yep.
Okay, and they're gonna know that you're married. Why is Lord John Grey miffed? I think it's because he took pride in his gifts.
Yes.
And he is proud of what he gave her. And he is like, nailed it. Just like I knew that she wanted all that stuff for her ether.
Mhm.
I know what kind of ring she's going to want. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be perfect. And then she doesn't really like his gift.
Yep. You know what he did. He like found another ring of hers and like got it, like figured out the size.
Yes, when
And
she
like
was sleeping.
when she was sleeping, he like
Yep.
went out to the ring guy. Like maybe, maybe she takes the ring off at night. Maybe she's that kind of girl.
Mixing her potions.
Yeah, and he's like, "Ooh, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna sneak this in." and I'm
Maybe
gonna-"
when she was sleeping, he put a little
Yes, absolutely, like a
string around
string.
it.
Yeah, he would have done that. He took the time
Yes.
to be like,
A
"No,
properly fitting
I don't
ring.
want that 10-carat gold crap. I don't want that. No. Give me the 24-carat."
Yes.
Like, my wife is
This
going
is
to
gonna-
have the best.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is a reflection of me. And I say that only because that's how I did it with my bride. I was like, no, that ring is going to be my marker. That's the thing that says, no, this girl's off the market. And her husband is this guy. You look at that ring, you got to know that it was me. And, Mary, hold on, I'm going to switch the cameras. Mary, show the ring.
I'm not wearing my actual ring.
No, she's not.
I'm wearing a plastic,
Like a little.
stretchy.
It looks like a
looks
peach
like a hair
grommet.
elastic. Yep.
Oh man.
Yep. I had knuckle swelling during my long COVID, so I took my ring off, and
She had to get it.
gotta have it cut off because
Yeah.
that's really humbling when you're like, wow, this sucks. But that's when I learned that a lot of women who had COVID
Yep.
had inflammation in their knuckles.
Yep. So
fun fact.
would I be a little pissy if she wasn't wearing the ring? Yeah, I think I'd be. And trust me, Mary's not wearing the ring right now.
I'm
and
wearing a ring.
I
At
know.
least I'm wearing something.
and I'm a little pissy about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen, I get hit on at Trader Joe's by a guy that asks
I
me
know.
to go dancing.
That guy, him and Rick Rankin can screw.
If any of you are single, I'm telling you, the freezer section of Trader Joe's
That's where it's at.
is where it's at. Some gentleman honestly came up to me and said,
Trader Joe's guy.
"Hello, you look lovely. Would you ever like to go dancing with me?"
Yeah, I dance with my husband.
And I said, "No, thank you." And then he brokenheartedly walked away. And then I went up to him and I said, "No, thank you because I'm married. But please don't take my saying no to ruin your spirit. That was the most sweet and romantic thing. And please ask someone else in the freezer aisle of Trader Joe's if they want to dance because that would have been perfect."
You should have.
This guy probably just wanted to run away, but I sought him out in the meat aisle because I was like, oh my God, he's never going to do that again. He could miss out on his true love in the freezer section who would love to go dancing with him. So I did. I found him and I was like, excuse me, sir. Please don't let this dampen your spirit.
If that were me.
If what were you? Me?
If I were there.
If you were asked out to
if-
dance in Trader
if
Joe's?
I were there, I would have pushed that guy over,
Oh,
gave him an
Blake.
atomic wedgie, a
No.
purple nurple,
No.
and then walked over him and threw him $1 and said, "Hey, clean yourself up."
I didn't have my plastic ring on because it's before I bought the plastic ring. It's why I went out and bought the plastic ring. But that poor thing. That poor guy. He had no idea.
Freaking Trader Joe's guy.
Trader Joe's freezer section.
I've gone over the Trader Joe's
I was just
guy
so happy
experience.
that Sunday morning. I must have been so happy to see like the unshelled edamame. You know, the little pizzas, the little frozen pizzas.
Edamame.
You know what's really good is the tempura cauliflower, that spicy tempura flat cauliflower we like.
Even I eat that. I'm out on cauliflower.
I'm telling you, you go to that freezer section and you're like, like whatever this not rice, the corn, the like Mexican corn, all that stuff. Yes.
The street corn?
The street corn. How are you not smiling in the freezer section of Trader Joe's? But I must have been smiling like the most beautiful single magical person in the world looking at street corn. Do you want to go dancing?
You saw the vegetable samosas in the freezer section.
Yeah.
You were like,
I must have been doing a little salsa or something like da 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 street corn da 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 da. I probably was dancing in the aisle listening to music humming along like Snow White.
Trader Joe's guy.
Want to go dancing?
That guy can go get his shine box.
I hope he asked someone else. I really do. That was like such a creative way to ask someone out.
How did we get on creative? How did we get on Trader Joe's guy?
No,
I don't even know.
We're talking about Lord John Grey.
Oh yeah, no. Lord John would have taken the time to do what he needed to do.
We're talking about the ring.
Yes, and he would have been pissy, and I would have been pissy too. I get it.
I don't get it, Lord John. Just get over yourself.
Here's what I will say.
She's got 2 rings on her hand.
Here's what I will
Nobody's
say.
gonna think she's single.
The man lives up to his name because not only does he get the ring, but he gets this stunning dress.
I would have wanted that dress.
I know. As soon as I saw it, I said, "That's a Mary dress right there." Like that teal color.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was teal or blue or whatever. I don't care, but it was Mary color.
Yeah.
And
like a peacock kind of thing going on.
And I was like,
it.
"Yep, that man's watched Pretty Woman. He gets it. Let's go."
I hate Pretty Woman. No, that man just knows how to shop. He knows what Claire's color palette is. He knows
Cool
that
tones.
she's like, yes. He knows what colors bring out, and light her up. Oh, I think it was fantastic.
So how do you feel about Claire's reticence of like the whole no, I'm not doing it. We joked about it at the top of this episode, but I really could see you saying like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't care. And then when he finally has enough, where he's like, God's blood, oh my God. Claire, you don't have to like it, but we got to survive. I totally see where he's coming from in this moment.
Yeah, and so does she.
Do you think she's just being obdurate for the sake of being obdurate?
No, she gets it. She's like, this is important. Once again, it's not just about her. It's about this whole family. And this is their first thing that they're supposed to go to together. She may not have to go to all of them. Like he says later on, like, we don't even have to go to all these millions of parties that we got invited to. We have to go to at least one. Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Claire loves parties. She loves party food. She loves Miss Fig's cooking. She does love to get dressed up.
Sure.
Girlfriend had so many dresses designed in France.
Oh,
that she was sitting there being like, oh, do I stay in my doctor outfits or my nightgown, or do I see how this fits? Maybe, like, you could just see her in a room like, I'm just going to try it on. I'm just going to see, oh, damn.
He got my size right and everything.
Let me put my hair up. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and the necklace. Oh, you know what? You can't look like this and have nowhere to go to.
You already you're halfway done already.
The party's in my house. Like, it's not even like I need to go outside, and I am hungry. It smells good. I do like to dance.
And I don't even have to wear heels.
No.
I can just,
Because
even if I want, I'll just put on some slippers.
Yeah.
We
Because
can
I'm
do
in
that.
my own house.
Yeah. No one's going to say nothing.
And I have to go to the bathroom, and it's downstairs.
I'm already halfway there. Might as well.
Let's just do it. I'll just go for a little peek.
So one of the things I think, Mary, that upsets
for
me,
like the little hot dogs.
or the beef Wellington.
Yes.
We are all here
he's
for the
more
beef Wellington.
Wellington. They're right.
Not
Not the little Franks. It is Philly.
She doesn't want Franks. She does not want Frank, and you know why?
You know who is there though? Captain Richardson.
Captain Richardson
Shows on up. Oh, where's your wife?
Yeah. this guy ain't nothing good coming from this guy.
Okay, so this
Not
is what I
one
want to
thing.
ask you. So he dances with Claire
Yep.
because stupid William and Claire don't have like a little silent language thing together.
Mm-hmm.
And Claire's like, no, thank you, William. No, thank you. And he's like, no, you just told me to go dance with Bumpkin over there, so you're going to go dance. So she's with Captain Richardson, and
Yeah.
he says, Claire, guess what? I'm a spy too.
Yep.
I want you to spy on your new husband. Let's be besties. What do you feel about this guy?
There's nothing good coming from this guy. Whether or not he's lying, whether or not he's telling the truth, whatever. One way or the other, there is 0.0. If there is negative chance that this guy is actually doing the right thing. And he's got no qualms about throwing Claire under the bus. So I expect there to be something very bad coming from Captain Richardson.
How soon do you think it's going to be?
Oh, my sense is the end of the season.
Interesting.
My sense is the end of the season, and that will be the cliffhanger on which the show ends, because Captain Richardson has now done something to Claire. Jamie has come back. Jamie has fought in one of the battles, and Richardson does something, and the season ends that way. That's my thought.
Interesting.
And it separates Claire and Jamie again to set them up for the big reunion at the beginning of the next season.
But you think he's going to play a pivotal part?
Yeah, something bad's coming from this guy.
Interesting.
I don't know what, though. I haven't figured that out yet.
Do you think Claire's going to be into it?
What he wants? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, do you think Claire's going to believe him?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
think
No.
Claire's going to like
Claire's head over the heels for the guy already. We like...
It's, I feel like Claire's Achilles heel is being a little spy.
Yeah.
She's had a taste for it and she can't stop.
Yeah, she is all about the disruption. She wants to disrupt the Battle of Culloden. She wants to disrupt the medical practices. She wants to disrupt the Browns. She wants to disrupt the revolution.
Well, she doesn't want to disrupt enough that it's going to hurt Lord John. That's what she says. She's like, listen, I'm not going to be spying on my husband. I won't tell him what you just told me.
Sure.
Which, Claire.
Come on, man. Claire, she just won't shut up. She just won't shut up. She just won't, do the right thing.
I don't know. You're gonna find out because you don't get to see everything yet.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, dude, nothing good's coming from this guy.
Okay, so then we have Roger and Buck. Roger, just hanging out with Buck, riding horses. Yeah, so my dad in airplanes over Germany. How much of this makes sense to Buck?
Well, he would get Germany.
Yeah. Airplanes.
Airplanes he would have gotten because he was in the future.
Oh, yeah, you're right. By that point, he would have known it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It was just like...
I agree.
I was just like, okay, you're saying a lot to this guy. Yes, he's learned a lot. But I don't know. I just feel like...
No, I agree.
The way
it's
that
a lot.
the way that he talked with him, and I know that it's because they had to condense things, but it's just like he's just like catching him up and aka catching the audience up.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what happened to my dad. Blah 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 blah. And I just kind of wished that there was a little bit more of like the conversations that would have happened from someone from the past who still didn't fully understand how these things kind of work.
Yeah.
You know?
And him be like, oh, that's the thing that flies, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it just kind of felt.
It felt very. Well, here's the thing, though, Mary. It's these kind of scenes that writers have to balance information with characterization, right? I will say that the information is delivered in a way that makes sense to the story. Like Roger is telling Buck the history.
And I did like seeing little Jemmy's airplane in the scene in the future.
Yes, right.
That was kind of fun and cool. So, but it's just, I don't know.
It wasn't like, as you know, Mary, I feel really bad about
No, but
this.
it kind of felt that way to me, is what I'm saying, is that it just felt like, okay, here's some important things that I want to make sure the public viewing sees, even though this conversation wouldn't naturally happen this way with this person at this time.
Yeah, I could see that. But I think I'm a little bit more positive on it because
They've hung out so much.
They've hung out so
Yeah.
much, and
So you're just taking that they have already had these conversations.
yeah, and
Okay.
and because like when he says, I think it's my dad,
Yeah.
like that they
Yes.
off screen would have had these conversations,
Yeah.
and he would have been just naturally talking about it.
Yeah, because they're family.
And yeah, right. I mean, the guy tried to kill him. Like, it's a whole thing. But it felt natural to me in a sense that not only is he giving the information to Buck, I think, who would have been interested in the information, but it's done in a natural way where it's providing the viewer the information in a way that's not like, as you know, Mary, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah. Like, don't you remember? Like, that didn't happen. So, like, I'm okay with that. Here's what I would have said, though, Mary, and I kind of agree with you, where it's like, I think I would have liked more of this, more of these conversations between the two. And this is the problem that I think the show is suffering from, because they are trying so hard, so desperately to, get all of this plot in, that they're not giving us enough time to be in this space, to be in the space with Lord John and Claire. Like, yes, they had a little bit of it. I would have wanted more. We're not in the space with Buck and Roger. Like, let's just think of all of the things that happened in this episode.
No, it's a lot.
I mean, honestly, it's like we have, we got a wedding. We had some intercourse, apparently, we didn't see. We had the conversation between Claire and...
we had Ian telling Rachel. We haven't even touched about
Right,
that.
Ian and
He's telling
Rachel.
Rachel, by the way, I was married and my ex-wife is alive and I have a kid.
Right. And then we have Jamie's resurrection. We have Claire and Lord John talking about, like, hey, you kind of suck for not letting your nephew getting married to this, hanging out
your
with
favorite
this girl.
captain showing on up.
Yeah, and then it's
Richardson.
revealed that William is Jamie's son to William. Like,
Don't forget, we've got
Whoa.
Mercy laying
Right.
it down.
like there is
There's a
so
lot.
much,
There is a lot.
and none of these have enough time to
Breathe.
breathe.
I felt like the Ian Rachel one actually did. I felt like that felt well paced and that the conversation was natural feeling.
Sure.
So I was pleased with that. I'm pleased with that to okay, this is going to keep carrying on and we're going to keep dropping this in here.
Yep.
But I felt like that was beautifully paced and felt authentic to
Sure.
those characters.
I agree with you, if only
But
because
then it's overshadowed and you forget about it.
yeah, I totally
because
forgot about
You
it.
spend too much time with the Frasers in Philly.
And I think it kind of shows you that it feels right. Like, as much as I like Ian and his budding relationship with Rachel, like, there's not much more to them than that. Like, to that pairing, it's just like, okay, they're sweet.
Well, and we had Ian, mourning Jamie. I mean, if you want to take it that sense, where he's talking to Claire, and he says, he was like my second father,
Sure.
and then he was, of course, talking about that also with Rachel. So I think, to me, yes, it was important for him to be like, oh yeah, we do want to get married, we do love each other. Let me give you my background, but also to really kind of, because Jamie comes back at the end of this episode, we did need to feel the mourning a bit more to understand. Claire and John truly believe that he's gone.
Sure.
Ian is making a grave for Jamie because he was lost at sea. So yes, we had to condense everything, but we need you to fully understand that everyone in this universe fully believes that Jamie is dead.
Sure.
So I appreciate that, why it had to be in there.
So, in that conversation that Ian has with Claire, they talk about the notion of her going back to her time. And she says, well, I feel like this isn't really my time. I feel more at home here, and I want to stay and be part of the revolution to make sure that, I live out Jamie's dream of helping this revolution and her work and helping Bree to have the country that she lives in.
I don't think it's too big of a spoiler. Like in the books, there's also talk of her saying that she doesn't know if she would live if she went through the stones again. Like it's such a physical
See,
experience.
now that I would have appreciated more.
I'm pretty sure that this is when this kind of a conversation or thought process goes through her head after Jamie is presumed dead.
Sure.
That part partially goes through her mind. That like, yeah, I could go and find Bree.
She's
and be with
older
that.
now.
But yeah, I don't know if I would actually physically survive it. I'm like pretty sure that it is at this
Okay,
point.
so now that I would buy.
Yeah.
Because what I was trying to build to, Mary, was I definitely don't buy this crap of her being like, I want to stay because it's the revolution and blah, blah, blah. If she had said something along the lines of like, I think I'd probably go back, but I don't even know if I would survive.
But I don't think the show has done enough
no.
due diligence to show how it physically impacts people to make us believe. And Claire is still like young looking in the show, even though she's much older.
Yeah.
So I think that it would have been hard for us to believe because we've just seen Roger go through the stones, and here he is now getting gems. And like you said, we know there's going to be still more time traveling going on.
They do build this up a little bit because Buck has the heart thing.
Yes.
Right. So
yes.
if after. We talk to Claire, or Claire's talking to Ian. She's like, yeah, I don't know if I would survive. We already know the thing with Buck, right? So I would have bought that.
Okay.
But for her to be like, yeah, no, I just want to stay here for the revolution.
Like I said, I don't usually like drop book things in here, but I just...
No, but it makes much more sense.
Yeah.
Because if I'm her and how much she loves Bree, there is nothing that is keeping me from being with my daughter. That is the one thing I have left of Jamie. Not this stupid revolution, not Lord John.
I don't think Claire's always the best mom.
Fair.
I've said that before. And
Fair.
I'll say it again.
Fair. Absolutely fair. I don't think she is either. She just jumps too quickly. So, I don't know.
Meaning that's been showed in the show. So if we're sticking true to show characters, I'd believe this.
Sure.
You know.
All right. Is there anything
Stinking
else you want to talk about?
papist.
Yeah. See, that's another line that I'm like, dude, the gravity of the situation that you're talking about here is enormous, and you've taken this moment to be like, I'm gonna do a little dad joke. Yeah, and this is gonna be one of those moments that's like the deepest cut from like season 2. Or 3, whatever it was.
Yeah, like, do you remember this when you were a wee lad?
There's
that I said
no
this
chance
to you?
he remembers it. It's such an awkward... The writing in this episode was very poor.
Blake, I saw it a little bit, like, realistic in the sense that, those insert foot in mouth moments where you're like, I can't believe I just said that. Like, that's what I said when I first realized
we've
this
had
was my
a few
son?
of those moments with you.
Me?
Yeah.
In front of, like,
It's
other
a
people?
Christmas miracle!
Oh, that was so bad. That was so bad. No, I said it was a Hanukkah miracle.
A Hanukkah miracle.
When, like, all the conflict started happening.
Oh, that was not...
When it was really Hanukkah, but I was like,
Oh,
because I was
that
celebrating Hanukkah
so
with my
bad.
students, and it was just really complicated emotions. There's still really complicated emotions with people, and anyway, just friends, just know it was really awkward for me. I went from singing dreidel songs all day to using it in a place and time and people that it was not.
Oh,
Goodness me. Anyway,
that was not a great... That was a stinking papist moment.
yeah. So when Jamie does this,
Sure.
I see myself, a fellow tourist, being like, I've had those moments.
Sure.
Blake, thanks for reminding me.
I also so it's like these things that the writer and the directing it has to balance, right? It has to balance viewers' expectations, because to me that feels like nothing more than it was meant for the viewer, as opposed to William the character, if you know what I mean.
Well, we just had the rosary situation going on with Ian and William and giving it right back. I mean, so this is like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I
sure.
know you're not.
No, I hear you. Like, it's not that I'm like upset about it. Like, I get it. And
like, that's one of the few things that Jamie had with William. And so he's probably replayed it in his mind. Like, that's what I said to him. And, you think the scenario's over. Like, what's going to happen when I see him? I'm going to say this.
You're a stinking papist.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I will say, though, Mary, when we're having these kind of conversations is I think probably my favorite moment of this episode, the one that felt extraordinarily true to character, one that felt like this was real, was when Lord John was talking to Claire in the carriage, saying, "You don't know what it's like.
Oh, and she wasn't wearing his ring. Mm-hmm.
Like, I've had to live this lie, and my nephew is going to have to live that same lie.
Oh.
Just because you come from this time doesn't mean that that's the way that it happens here. Like, great, I love that for you. But here, I don't want him to live the way that I did. I don't want him to live with that regret and live with that awful feeling." What? You're looking at me funny.
I think, what I took out of it really was like the beautiful conversation he has about his white stag moments.
Yes.
And, how his relationship also is something that is not allowed. His relationships and his just preferences and partners is not allowed in society.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think he sees Claire more as like, this big thinker and this revolutionist, and seeing it more that way. But no, I agree. I think it was a very impactful thing. And also, I don't know, like I loved that whole moment with the stag. Our kids today, it snowed yesterday, and the snow's probably not going to make it till Christmas. And our son was saying, "Oh, I wish the snow would stay." And I said, "We need to be grateful that we even have this snow. It looks so beautiful." And I was thinking about this Lord John Gray quote.
Sure.
About how these moments are fleeting, but...
And they come, and when they come,
yes,
I love it.
We're grateful for it.
Yeah. Yep.
And how amazing is that for even relationships or people that you do see, whether it's romantic or not, sparingly.
That's part of your life at that moment.
Yeah.
And then it goes away.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I loved how that was like part of their title card and everything too because of that.
Right.
So many things in life can be your white stag.
I just want to call it the quote that it's here. It's, "I know what it is, madam, to have your love be a crime and live in fear of discovery and of violence. I will not allow Henry or Mrs. Woodcock to risk imprisonment or worse." And to be honest, Claire does feel like she's pointing down from her ivory tower just a little bit. Like that accusation, I mean, dare I say, of bigotry for Lord John, when it's like, it's got nothing to do with that. This is living a lie that I just will not allow them both to live. Like, it feels legitimate for him to be upset over this. And that's why I say it feels like a purely character-driven moment to me. Because Lord John's living that lie right now. He's living that life. And I would believe that he would do anything within his power to make sure that somebody else doesn't live that same kind of lifestyle that he does. Anything else you want to talk about in this episode, my darling?
Yeah, I was just kind of like trying to remember something because you were saying that you think that John said you're not from this time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't
think he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just
That's
projecting
why I was like
that onto
stuttering
him.
all this. Yeah.
Maybe I'm projecting that on. But whatever. Like, for either way, he's looking at Claire like, stats are for nerds. Either way, he's looking at Claire like, who are you to tell me? Like, yeah, you believe what you believe. That's great for you. Great job. Because she even says, where I come from, we have, all these people have these lives. And, like, she does say that.
She says people will be able to.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So she doesn't say
Maybe
where I come from, when I come from, but she says people will. And I think he takes that as like this revolutionary spirit of the world will be a better place.
Maybe that's what threw me for the loop.
Yeah, so maybe you took that as like
yeah, he knew. And she's saying people will.
He just knows. Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah, right.
Now that you're my wife.
Yeah, like I think that's why
in that scene while we didn't have sex, you also told me this really important thing.
Oh, goodness
like
gracious.
how I should have brain break for a moment. Being a book reader and having to do this with you.
It's got to be hard.
Yeah. There are moments when I have to sit here and be like,
Anything else that you want to talk about?
Jamie pulling the gun on him at the end. Claire's face. He's alive. He's here. He's back in action. Probably going to be put, in some deep trouble soon. Love it. I love William being like, who are you guys coming up my house? Get out of here. Me with my dads
Right. Get out of here.
and my stepmom.
There he is! Like that little British guy.
Yeah.
There he is! Go get him!
Oh my gosh. Miss Fig downstairs. All these intruders just running by her left and right.
Oh,
First
yeah.
Jamie with running in, and then all these soldiers running in. She just put on a party last night. She's gonna put in her 2 weeks notice after this.
She ought to. And anytime I heard Mrs. Fig, all I could think of was Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Mrs. Fig.
Yes.
Like that's
How could you not?
Mrs. Fig. What did you see these two boys do?
With all of her cats.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about about this episode, my love?
No.
All right, here we go. Let's close this bad boy out. This one's for you, Mary.
Thank you. And to all the other busy people in the world.
7 a.m. the usual morning.
Plus, if you like
line
This
up.
Is Us.
What'd you say?
And if you like the show This Is Us.
Oh,
Mandy
yes.
Moore.
Give me all the Mandy Moore.
For our podcast, This Is Us 2. By the way, if you haven't watched This Is Us and listened to our companion podcast, we highly recommend it.
Totally. It's one of my favorite podcasts we've ever done.
Agreed.
We got really real on that. If you like these tangent conversations, you would love the This Is Us
Yes, you want to get to
podcast.
know us better?
Yes,
You're
absolutely.
welcome. You are welcome.
So go to MaryandBlake.com. Check out our podcast there for This Is Us and everything else that we have going on. As we talked about earlier, I know, like I said, we're a little bit behind, but that's okay. We're gonna get through it all, and we will have our listener feedback episode for this episode as soon as possible. Then we'll be moving on to episodes 12 and 13 as Mary's headphones just come flying off the wall. Maybe it was Jamie's ghost that did that.
We want to thank our friends who have taken a moment to head on over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a written review. So, just in case you didn't know, you can sign up for Apple Podcasts to leave a written review, even if you listen to us on Stitcher, right?
No, Stitcher's gone.
Stitcher's gone. Spotify.
Spotify.
YouTube, Facebook, wherever. But you can sign in and leave us a written review. The stars are beautiful and they're wonderful and they're nice, but honestly, the written reviews, a sentence or two, that's what makes a difference. So we want to thank Bonya PB, who says, part of the enjoyment of watching and reading Outlander is having fun with it, and others who also enjoy the show. Mary and Blake only add to the fun. Also, they help with Droughtlanders. I look forward to Outlander Cast almost as much as Outlander. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Don't forget, you can head on over to maryandblake.com to see all the other podcasts that we do. You want to email us, you can, maryandblakemedia@gmail.com. And if you want to have a voicemail featured on our listener feedback episodes, you can do that. Just go to maryandblake.com. Click the upper right-hand corner where it says Contact Us, and you can leave a voicemail right through the website. We would love to hear your thoughts. And last but not least, we want to thank our friends at jointhenerdclan.com. So if you have made it this far into this episode, my friends, it is because hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. And if these episodes bring you light and love and laughter during these dark times, it's technically the day after the winter solstice, for example. Right
So
here
it's
in
literally dark.
Yeah, it's like I'm
It's
not
wicked
saying
dark
bad
down
things
there.
are happening. I'm just saying it's dark.
It's dark. Wicked dark.
But if you enjoy it, you can actually become a member at jointhenerdclan.com. You get early access to episodes. You get commercial-free episodes. So if you don't like the commercials, you can actually do that. And it's less than a cup of coffee. So it really helps make sure that we can keep the lights on, help make sure we can pay our website fees and do all these things and create more free content for people like listeners like you all over the world. So thank you
Yes.
so much to our friends at jointhenerdclan.com.
All right, Marvin, we've gone well beyond the song for
Okay.
Tangled. So,
My name's Mary.
I'll put on another Tangled
No,
song
it's okay.
just for you.
You're good.
Days watching from the windows.
My name's Mary.
My name is Blake.
And you've been listening to Outlander Cast.
All that time, never even knowing just how blind
I've been.
I wish I was.
now
I wish I was.